years in mortgage, been around this to seeing all the highs and lows. And now she's doing really cool projects with forward thinking lenders. So, welcome, Dana.
Let's bring her to the stage and let's put her in the hot seat.
Oh, the hot seat.
Well, good morning to you both. Molly, that was a very warm welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for doing this and just for being like a shoulder to lean on. Since I very first met you, I treasure our friendship, and I'm so grateful that you are here this morning.
I appreciate you so much. So, fun fact, I usually refer to myself as Chief Everything Officer because, when you're a small business, you're just doing everything, right? I used to tell an old boss, this is kind of a fun story. He's like, what do you want your title to be? And I said, well, you can put on my card janitor. And he's like, what? Why? And I said, because you send me in to clean up all the crap in this organization. So your title can be anything, right? So
Chief of Janitorial Arts.
Yep, that has definitely been me in some past endeavors.
Well, Dana, you have this philosophy that we have talked about several times, and as Audra and I were talking about how can we help women get back to work in this market, this just it just clicked. And so will you just give us an introduction first on your philosophy, tell us what it means, and then we'll talk about more how to apply it to job searching after. But just give us an introduction. What is your philosophy?
So this is a 30-year leadership journey that I've been on, right? And there's been so many different things that have impacted it along the way, but I've really kind of compacted it down to three things: grit, grind, and grace. I think those three categories really embody not only what my journey has been, but so many of us, right? Specifically women, because I put a lot of, my own things that I've gone through as a woman industry in, the presentation of grit, grind, and grace. But yeah, I mean, grit is it's a strength of character, right? It's a resiliency. I also often believe that not everybody has it, right? It's not something that really can be manufactured. You either have it or you don't. But one of the things that I also think that grit represents is fighting for yourself when no one else will, right? And so that's a really big piece, and especially in the job search, right? Grind is one, that's kind of the mundane tasks things, right? Like that you have to do every day. And when you're hunting for a job, there is no bigger grind, especially in the market that we're in right now. And so I know that we're going to get into some of that here in a little bit. But what I also believe grind is, in my philosophy, is that it's being teachable at every level. One of the things that I think that has served me so well through my career is I am a constant student. I am the queen of reinvention. I have gone through more reinventing in 3 decades of mortgage than most of us probably have. And I'm totally okay with that, right? I love that. I love the pivots. I don't think that we shouldn't celebrate, those types of things. Now, I know in the market, sometimes when you're a pivoter, people look at that like as, oh, well, she's not willing to, sit and stay in one place. And that's not the case at all, right? So I definitely want to talk about that and dispel. And then the last one is probably the most important in the 3Gs, honestly. And it was the longest, certainly, for me to really adapt for myself. And that's grace. Right? I think we often find that it's really easy to extend grace to others or give people second chances, but we're the hardest on ourselves. And I know, going through a job search, man, can we bash ourselves during that process. I'm not good enough. I don't have the right skills. I have too many skills. How dumb is, all of those things. So that's pretty quite high level of what grit, grind, and grace is, and how I'm deploying it as part of my strategy.
So tell us a little bit more, because you just mentioned grind, the second part of your philosophy, that sometimes if you're pivoting, that people think, oh, you're not there for the grind. Will you talk about that, what that means?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, there's the grind in the actual work that we do, right? And everybody has those things that are part of their jobs. So if we're talking specifically of job searching, right? The grind in that is sending out your resume, going to job boards, working your referral base, to try to see, what opportunities, that there are. And all of that is necessary grind work in the search. Some of the feedback that I've gotten from some folks that are going through this and that I have personally experienced, because Lending Luminary came about 2 years ago because I got tired of taking punches to the face from the mortgage industry. I thought, if someone's going to do that, I'm going to do it on my own, right? Because the four, opportunities that I had before launching Lending Luminary were all very short-lived, not because I wanted them to be, but because of how the market was, transitioning, capital moving away or shifting, or, any of those things that can change mortgage consolidations in companies. Like, we're seeing that all over the place right now with people being displaced. And so it's a challenging thing for me when I hear a recruiter or a hiring manager discounting someone because they haven't had a tenured job experience, right? I actually just made a post about this a couple of days ago on LinkedIn about this exact thing. Is like, just because I haven't sat 10 years or 20 years in some mortgage company doesn't make me less of a leader. In fact, I think it makes me a better one, right? Because I have pivoted, I have survived, I have seen other things outside of one mortgage, I have expanded, my education and learning. And so I really, really want, if there are hiring managers and recruiters that are listening in, like, move that off your plate, man, because that is just something that is inhibiting you personally from really recognizing significant talent in our space.
Wouldn't you
The
say that that's like almost myopic vision? Because if you're only experiencing one kind of leadership, one kind of company, that limits you from being exposed to how other organizations do things. It limits you from creativity. It limits you from seeing new technologies. It's the bottom line is it limits you.
100%. Here's the rub though, Audra, right? There are some 10, 15-year mortgage people that have been with the same company that now have been displaced. And now they're getting the opposite feedback. It's like, oh, well, you were with the same company for 10 or 15 years. How could you have a purview of the mortgage industry? And I'm like, wait. We can't have it both ways. We can't want it so narrow that you don't, you haven't sat in your seat for 10 years. And then, oh, by the way, I've sat in my seat for 10 years and I'm still not being considered. Like, there is just no normalization happening in this market right now. None.
So how would you apply this philosophy if you're in the shoes of a person who is looking for a new role? How does this philosophy directly apply to that daily struggle that we know many women are going through right now?
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you, I'm not actively looking, right? Lending Luminary is a flourishing, wonderful company. There are definitely things that I really miss about being with an organization. So if the right opportunity came along, I would probably consider it. But I'm working with a couple of people that, from a mentoring perspective or otherwise, that are going through this right now. And I'm actually starting with the grace with them as opposed to the grit and grind, because, they'll show up on a call with me and they'll say, Dee, I've sent out 45 resumes and not one response. Or, I went through a, first round of interviews and then I got completely ghosted. What's wrong with me? And I'm like, whoa, why is our first response always to think there's something wrong with us, right? Whether, from a personality perspective or from a skills perspective, 99% of the time, that's not it at all, right? As a matter of fact, I would challenge these companies that have these job descriptions and things that are out there to really review those before posting them. Because I can't tell you how many times I have seen candidates going through the process, and then all of a sudden the response from the company is, oh, we've decided to take this position in a different direction. Wait, what? Right? That's not something that gets decided overnight, right? Either you have the wrong strategy in your company and your leadership is doing a really poor job of identifying and executing on that you have no idea that a position can radically change over 30 days. So what I've been sharing with these guys is probably the hardest thing is, right? You have got to show yourself grace during this process, more so in probably anything that you've gone through before. And that can be a really difficult thing, right? Because if you're not catching a win, and listen, most job seekers in the mortgage business right now aren't catching many wins at all, right? And so that means every single day or multiple times a week, there's some type of rejection. And that as a human is not something that, we're DNA, set to really absorb. So I really do start with grace. I want to talk about it all the time. I want to encourage self-grace. And then I want everyone that is around, all of these people looking to be showing them grace as well. Meaning, how can I be graceful to make an introduction that I've not been asked to make? How can I be graceful enough to make an introduction of one that I have been asked? Even if maybe I'm like, I don't know if this is a good fit or not. That's not for me to decide, right? Let's put people together and connect them and just continue to show up for each other. I mean, I think that's the definition of grace. It's been shown to me countless times. There's a person on this call that showed me amazing grace, many months ago, because I totally fanned a calendar thing with her.
I know what you're talking about. That was a complete example of grace. It was the weirdest thing, and I'm so glad that we had this grace together, because now we are together, and it wouldn't
Yes.
have been, but for that grace.
For grace, for sure. And it seems like that actually brought a little tear to my eye. I'm not gonna lie.
I will always remember. That's how we really met and connected. I will always remember.
Yeah. I mean, backstory, I knew Molly when she was doing her next mortgage events and these just amazing women things. That was years ago. And I didn't really personally know her, until really the last several months. But that is absolutely what, reconnected us for sure. So yeah, that's good stuff. So yeah, again, I mean, grace comes in so many forms, right? It's picking up the phone. You get a text message from someone that says, hey, can you cover this for me because I'm going through something? You don't respond to the text. You pick the phone up because they're going through something, right? It's just all of those little extra things that I know we probably all were raised with, the mismanners. Like listen, I'm not calling anybody out, but my age group.
Oh no, what happened to us?
We lost Dana.
That's an essential ingredient of our live show.
I know, that's kind of essential, and we're live, so
yeah.
Now we just have to tell jokes.
I can do that.
Hopefully she'll join back up. But in the middle of that, we'll just continue to talk about grace. Oh, good, she's back on stage.
And what
happened? Welcome.
It's live. We were just ad-libbing. Honestly, we're just ad-libbing. We were just going to start telling awful jokes at that point.
Look at our grace on full display. I mean, shoulder pats to us.
Yeah. No kidding. I have no idea what happened. All of a sudden, we were just all gone. So yeah.
We just
and so whoever's watching, thank you for the grace of staying with us for sure.
So keep on.
I don't know where we were.
We were talking about grace, and that honestly, that is the definition of grace, is that we fall down, we dust ourselves off, we pick back up, and that is the perfect example of it. As actually Molly and I were talking about it yesterday, as us as a group, is that if you don't have 100 today and you only have 70, Molly and I will split the difference and carry your 100. And we'll figure it out from there. That's the whole point of what we're trying to do. That's the whole point of trying to support job seekers. I have not publicly told, like announced on, done a public announcement on LinkedIn, but I'm also a job seeker. I'm also out there looking for my new next adventure. That's the whole reason why I came to Molly, because she did this amazing post and said, hey, you don't have to do this alone. And I saw that post and I pinged Molly and I said, that really touched me. Is there room for me? And she said, always. And that is how she and I became reconnected, because I've known her from Next. And I talk to her every week. And now I talk to Dana almost every week, because we need a support group. We need a team. We need a community. I think that's the whole foundation of what you're saying, which is grace. And that's what you're trying to build. That's why you're saying, let's start with grace to help support the grit and the grind.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you asked about, is there room, right? First of all, I would hope that we should never have to ask that. But this is going to be a shameless plug for Athena's Council, because it means so much to me. This group of incredible women are so unbelievably supportive in the things that they give to each other all the time. So if anyone's listening and you are not a member of Athena's Council, please, please, please join, because this isn't about having a seat. This is about my seat at the table, and I'm scooching over and dragging another chair up so you can have a seat right next to me. And that's what this is about. That's what real grace looks like, especially with women. Right? That hasn't always been the case, right? For many, many years, I had the feeling that, if there was only one seat at the table, I had to vie against another woman. And I don't feel that way anymore. It is changing, not radically, but it is changing. And there's a lot of amazing people and organizations, Empower, Athena's Council, that have done a lot to change that dynamic. But if I can't show grace to the same people that are going through some of the same challenges that I've gone through in my career as a woman, as a job seeker, as a mother, as a leader, all of those things combined at any, given time, then why am I showing up? Because it just doesn't resonate with me. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like with Athena's Council and with this, Friday Wins live show, and we're also going to start, we have a Wednesday morning, Wednesday at noon Eastern time. We have a Zoom. It's for job seekers, and it's called Between Roles Together. And we're not claiming that we have the solutions. We're just saying you don't have to do this alone, right? Yeah. We'll help you look. This is a rough time for many people in this market, and you don't have to do it alone. We have a table of women who are full of grace, to Dana's point, and want to be there for you and with you. And so I hope people will join us on Wednesdays. We'll put details about it in the comments of this video. Everybody is welcome, and it's just like a midweek pick me up, we hope, because this is a tough time. It's a tough time for a lot of people.
Yeah. It definitely is. It definitely is. Well, like I said, I always lead in with grace, but we cannot discount the grit and grind in this process, right? And both of them are probably equally important. But I might say that grit just slightly moves ahead of the grind, just because, that's the resiliency. And you're going to get knocked down more than you're going to, gain a win. Right. And so being gritty in the process is going to be super important. And then, the grind is, you have to go about this like you would any work assignment, right? Like you have to show up every day. There is no day off in looking for an opportunity or in expanding your skill set. Listen, 58 years in, right? I challenge myself several times a year with things that I don't know. Right now I'm in my AI era. And that's thanks to, another Athena's Council, member, where I heard her speak a year ago at another Women's Leadership Summit, Brooke, Anders Tompkins, and she was up there talking about like responsible AI. And I'm like, I don't even know the words that are coming out of her mouth. Like she's saying things that it bothered me. Right. And so I went on this year-long journey of really delving into it and, the differences in what's being launched. And I'm going to sit on an all women's panel talking about AI and humans at MBA annual. Like that's amazing to me. Right. And so that's the grind piece of it. You have got to be willing to every day invest in yourself, invest in your career opportunities, invest in the other people around you, keep being teachable. That's something that I just don't think that I could emphasize enough, honestly.
Well, I have one more question for you. And then Audra, do you have our fast 5 questions? Are you going to ask Dana our fast 5 questions?
I do, but she has some she wants to go through some LinkedIn profile.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And then we'll do fast 5.
Okay, so I have one question, Dana, left in my list here. What do you got on your shirt, and where can we get that shirt?
This is Grit, Grind, and Grace.
I love it.
I have an exceptionally talented daughter who has a small business. She's a mom and a small business, and she created the design for me and made them. If you want one, my next appearance is going to be at MBA Annual. I'll have some there with me, but you can all reach out, and I'll send you one for sure, Molly. I got to get one to your mom so she can bring it to you in Mexico.
Yes. Okay, now to the LinkedIn part.
Yeah. So listen, job seekers, the first place, and I mean the first place that any hiring manager or recruiter is probably going to go is to your LinkedIn profile. So if you don't have that high and tight, like the Marines used to call it, you're doing yourself a disservice. Okay. So, I could probably screen share, but I think I can really just walk through 3.
Do you want me to pull up a screen
pull up
share?
mine? Yeah, pull up mine. Yeah, and then that way
and I'll pull up your LinkedIn. Give me a second.
Yeah, that way we can highlight, a few of the things on there. So first things first, right? Your resume should line up to your job history on LinkedIn, right? So if there's any disconnect, or if you've left off something in LinkedIn because you thought you needed a shorter profile or whatever, don't do that, right? Those should be mirror images of each other. Dates, because the first thing when you see something that's a disconnect, that's going to give someone a little pause, or at least, ask an unnecessary question that I don't think that you really need to go through, during hiring. So that's really important.
Share screen, so people in the comments are going to have to tell me if we screw up. So you guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I am sharing LinkedIn. Someone in the comments tell me if we're doing it.
It looks good to me. I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Woohoo.
I can see it too. Okay, so you can see at the very top, right, is the banner. That's the most real estate on any LinkedIn page. And this should be who you are, what you are and what it is that you want to do, right? You can very clearly see there's, two similar images of me. Oh, by the way, they mostly look like me. I mean, I little makeup touch up happening in these photos, and that's okay. But the idea of these is if I was walking at a conference somewhere and someone had seen me from LinkedIn, they'd be able to recognize you. So don't use your 1984 prom picture or your glamour shot or, sitting out, side in your deck chair, right? If you are trying to set for a professional role, these photos should be professional. So either go do $100 headshot, session, or listen, there is some tremendous AI solutions. Now, I will caution you, and my friend Liz Short hates it anytime I bring up AI headshots, right? But there are ones that you can use multiple actual candid pictures of yourself, and it puts you in professional attire, right? Doesn't change your looks. Maybe it softens a little bit, takes a wrinkle or two out. That's all right. But it actually looks like you. So those are free resources. If you're on a tight budget, definitely use something like that. I would also tell you, if you're doing something on your own, use natural light, stand in front of a window, have a friend, spouse, take a picture and edit that. Those are always good options too. But the banner, right? The banner should absolutely give you a snapshot of who I am. And, on mine, you can clearly see, right? I am, what I do as, part of, Lending Luminary, what I bring to the table, and then, some other little, fun facts about me right at the bottom, right? I'm a best-selling book author, Rethink Everything You Know About Financial Literacy for Teens, available on Amazon. Shameless plug. But
it's a great book. It is a great book. No kidding.
Thank you. But if you're a job seeker, right, you could absolutely put some very strategic verbiage up there of what you bring to the table, right? If you're a 20-year mortgage veteran, or if you're a compliance maestro, any of the things that really stand out from your background that are the things that you want to bring forward, those should be in your banner. And then your banner really should connect to your headline. So here's one little super secret tip that most people don't know. If you go into your profile page and you select next to your name, it has a selection for pronoun. So you can select whatever pronoun, but it also can be customized. And so you can see mine, I customized it for one little extra tweak that says, mortgage is my thing. Right. And so you can come up with some fun little tagline of your own that's right next to your name. So you probably have 3 to 9 seconds of anybody's attention when someone comes into your page. So banner, super important. And then your headline underneath, right? If you're, currently seeking a role, you could certainly say that. I don't recommend that. I also don't recommend the open to work banner in your profile picture. There's some element of, I'll use the word desperation feeling around that I've gotten feedback about. I don't know if I agree with that, but let's go with the masses on that one. But in your headline, these should be really key things professionally and personally. Do not lose your humanity of being a real live person just because this is a social media platform. People actually crave that. They want to know the unique things about you. It's one of the, I can't tell you how many DMs I get about being a Texas Longhorn breeder, right? Or having AI advocacy, because those are just things that are differentiators to a lot of other people. So this is your place to shine, be different, be unique, but be professional, right? This is something, you're representing who you are out to the hiring public, if you will. And so, if you were looking for a high level, executive position, this should reflect, what that is from that type of persona. I'm not advocating that, you can't have something fun or that you can't be fun. I'm the most fun of people that I know, right? Uh, and so I want that to come out in my profile also, because it's just part of who I am. And that's the authenticity, right? If you can give a potential hiring manager or recruiter an insight to who you are before even talking to you, so then when they do get you, it matches up, home run. That's a home run. Okay. Your about section, I think that's super important. Those are nice little, snippets and stories and things. If you've been featured in other podcasts, or you've written a book, or you've written newsletters, or articles have been published, right? Definitely include that. That's testimony to the expertise that you bring. So that's probably 5, I think, high level tips that I would say, if you are right now job seeking, I would do an absolute in-depth LinkedIn profile cleanup.
I just want to say too, Audra and I, we discussed this yesterday, and she can help if somebody's out there. Here, I'm volunteering, Audra. But if somebody out there needs another set of eyes on their profile, some tips, some advice, she is happy to do that. And inside Athena's council, we're happy to help you.
We do LinkedIn Squad once a month,
Yeah.
right? So if you're a member of Athena's council, we do a LinkedIn Squad once a month, and we talk about tips and tricks. We get sometimes really personal. Sometimes we'll roast a profile. But it's all for the benefit.
Yeah, it's good just to get somebody else who doesn't know you to give their impression and help you kind of polish that up.
Yep, 100%. And listen, there are paid services out there, certainly, that you can go and do. I think that the majority of people know themselves better than any paid person will. And so if you were looking at your page as a hiring manager, that's the approach you should take. What would you want to see? What resonates? And then keep it true to what your background and expertise really is.
Dana, I wanted you to point out this piece of real estate too, that people always forget about, but it's really highly utilized and another great feature to really showcase yourself right here.
Yeah.
So I wanted you to talk about this place too.
Yeah, 100%. So you'll see, like on mine, I've got like a little video snippet I posted. I recently graduated from Houston Christian University's their women's leadership. That's a really proud learning moment for me. So I wanted to feature that. The book is on there. If you keep scrolling, there's a podcast that I did with my co-author, Brooke. There's another podcast that I did with Steve Scanlon on there. Anytime that you are putting yourself out there, right? Those things should be featured. Those are great ways for hiring managers to see you without seeing you.
I aspire to this level of LinkedIn profile. I'm going to work on it.
Well, I know a couple people that can help you out if you need it.
And I had Dana take a look at mine too. Mine's a pretty tight.
Yours is dialed in, lady. Yeah, there was one little thing I think that I made a recommendation that you could possibly do if you wanted to, but I didn't see that it was, something that absolutely screamed needed a change. But, knowing you and how passionate you are about, some of the similar things that I am, I thought it was important for you to, have that included in there. And so, yeah.
So anytime there's an extra pair of eyes that you can take a look at, use them. So we're all here. I'm happy to take a look at your profile. Optimization is the name of the game, and being able to highlight yourself in the best possible light is also the best way to do it. So Dana, are you ready for Fast 5?
I think so.
Yes.
We'll see.
Fun part.
This is the best part. And we actually have some questions. We have some comments from Jill. So we'll actually note the comments first, and then we'll get to Fast 5. So Jill is on. Thank you, Jill, our very first our very first guest from last week. Thank you, Jill. She says you have to be your own biggest advocate. Yes, for sure, you 100% too. And then Jennifer Miller. Hi, Jennifer. She says now she knows we're really live. Oh yeah, this is not a recording for sure. It's definitely not a recording. Yeah, we are. This is definitely not a drill.
Nope.
We're flying by the seat of our pants, everyone. So here's Fast Five. Ready, Dana?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. What's your comfort show or movie that you can watch just over and over and over again?
Princess Bride.
Oh,
100%.
Good choice. Good choice.
I could probably my adult girls now will not watch that movie with me because I literally can recite every single word of that movie. My name is Mantico Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Yeah. Princess Bride, hands down.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So if you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be?
So does historical mean like they have to have like, done something significant, or can it just be some random
anybody?
Okay. So it's Robin Williams for me, right?
Cool.
I think having a conversation, knowing the mental health, that he went through and how, that impacted him so much, and on the polar end opposite, how funny he was and how he made people feel. Like, I just think that would be an extraordinary conversation. These are easier than I thought they would be.
Oh, just wait. You haven't gotten to the end. What's your I can't live without this app on your phone?
Ooh, LinkedIn probably.
LinkedIn?
I mean,
come on.
Over Spotify, Pinterest.
No, either that or I'm telling myself here. So LinkedIn or Masterclass. Like, I love the Masterclass app. I'm in that every day, listening to someone share something cool.
Okay,
that's part of your always learning.
Yeah,
I'm still with you with Masterclass, but LinkedIn, come on. Dana, we need to have more fun. Come on.
I don't think there is. I don't even think there's anything on here. I was just looking. Oh, I have an Impulse app, which is kind of a fun brain teaser thing. And so I do that to keep my mind sharp every day. But
because if you're still like I said, if you were going to still stick with LinkedIn, Molly and I are getting on a plane and heading to Texas.
Give me one reason. Just give me one reason.
Okay, it's LinkedIn. Come on.
So, okay, I'm going to leave this for last. But the next question I'm going to leave for last. So, vacation, beach or mountains?
I struggle with this because I love being in the woods and the mountain with my husband. He's a big hunter, and I just find, I think peace and grace come over me anytime I step into the woods. Like, God's beauty is just all over it. But I get the same feeling when I step out onto an ocean, a beach too. That it's hard. Like, we love both.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to choose. Although sometimes woods can be creepy.
Well, yeah, there is some truth to that for sure. And I've never been to a beach that I felt, they've seen creeps, but not felt creepy. Again, live.
Live, it's Friday. So here's the last song, and this is the one that's going to go together with music. So remember what I had said in the beginning. So this is kind of in the veins of your hype song. So what's your walk-on song?
Through the years, there's been a few different ones. Right now, I'm in my AC/DC Thunderstruck mode, right? Like, I just think that song is so powerful. And I think of marine planes, it's Thunderstruck. No doubt about it.
Okay, so we're going to be revisiting this song next week.
Somebody else coming into Thunderstruck, they got to think that's kind of the bomb.
Yeah.
That kind of is. So
It's the Dallas Cowboys walk on, isn't it?
I don't know. Is it? Because I'm not a Cowboys fan. Go Chiefs. So
Okay.
yeah, could be.
Taylor's team. Yep, I get it.
but before we wrap everything up today, Dana, how I usually end my show is I let the guest leave a lasting thought with the audience. And I think that that's appropriate in this space too, because let's face it, if any group needs a lasting thought, it's this one.
Yeah.
It is job seekers, especially in the vein of what you're passionate about, which is this grit, grind, and grace. So I want to give you that space to do that here.
You're so good to me, Audra. And by the way, I've been a guest on your other show and it was wonderful. And you should absolutely plug it here because the listening audience would absolutely benefit from going back and seeing some of the ones that you've already recorded for that show. Don't listen. Someone else's feedback of you is not you. Don't absorb that into your being, right? You are this spectacularly, God-made human being, and everything about you is radiance and beautiful and wonderful. And if someone else is evaluating that under their terms, that's under their terms. Don't let it impact how you continue to show up for yourself, specifically for your family. And then while you're going through this process, it's hard. I mean, there's no one on this call, that hasn't been in that seat. And if you're faltering, and Audra, you said it best, right? If someone's only at 70%, man, get your tribe involved and they will pick up the other percentage. If you don't have a tribe, here's your new one, right? LinkedIn, DM all of us. We will absolutely bring you into the fold and would welcome it. If you see me out at a conference and I don't know you need a hug, I'm all about it, right? Like just whatever it is, but don't ever give up on yourself or let someone else dictate how you continue to show up and navigate through this process.
Yeah, we're your new greatest friends.
Yeah.
The whole point.
Yep. Friday wins.
Friday wins. So Molly, you want to close us out?
Well, thank you so much, Dana. And thank you so much, Audra, and everybody who's listening and watching. And we'll be back next Friday for the next episode of Friday Wins Live. I'm going to get it. And if you're looking for a role and you want to be interviewed here, please reach out to us. We want to help you and get you some visibility and help you make some progress because we're doing this together.
So thanks, everyone. We have no idea what we're doing next week, but we'll be here doing something.
Yep.
Thanks again for having me, you guys. Appreciate it.
Bye, everybody. So happy weekend.
See you later.
Rumba and tango, dance and hustle too.
Yowza, yowza, yowza.
I wanna boogie with you.